Let's talk about Puka and Garrett. Both, fortunately for both organizations, not out for very long from what I'm seeing out there, from what I'm reading, maybe a few weeks for both, which is not devastating in this day and age. With injuries all over the place. I mean, you got people going down for full years. So I will take a week or two if I'm a fan of these teams, the Rams and the Jets. So let's talk about the impact of both these players on these teams. What do you think? Who do you think has the most impact on their team? Is it Garrett Wilson being on the Jets? So Garrett Wilson's out for a couple weeks. Let's say they're out both for a couple weeks. Who is more in which absence is being felt more? Because both these are injuries are taken seriously. You never want players to be out even for a minute, especially players that are excellent like this for both a fan perspective and a human being perspective. From a team perspective, which do you think is felt more?
Well, Puka's definitely, because they're 4-2. They're in there that tight NFC West, between San Francisco, Seattle, and Los Angeles are all 4-2 right now. So you can't afford to lose Puka for too long, right? At least his is more day to day. His an ankle sprain versus Garrett. It's a hyperextension where he could miss maybe possibly a couple of weeks of that. I keep reading. So let's see how the extent of that injury is. But with Garrett, it's just like it doesn't really matter. They're 0-5. I don't know. That game was so horrible to watch. The Denver game was just an abomination of a game to watch. I was like, I couldn't believe.
Man, when you think about those overseas games, not a really big fan of them, man. When it comes to Denver, I'll go ahead and give them a little bit of a break because of that. It was exhausting, that game against Philly, man. It's barn burner, as they call it. Took a lot out of them, and then they had to fly over. It's no real excuse, but it just looked flat, man.
Yeah,
it looked flat, and the Jets just look the same way they always look. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the Jets. It's like they go spend this money on Fields, and it's. I was listening to just because Kurt Warner was one of the commentators. He's like he doesn't get the ball out in time. It's like he's waiting until like Garrett Wilson was doing just a simple post pattern, right? He run out, grunts toward the sidelines, and it's like, and Court was like, that's when the ball needs to be out. When he makes that turn, it should be out before he makes a turn. That way the ball's right there versus he's waiting for the ball to be thrown, and he gives your quarterback enough time to knock the ball away. And so, I've been a huge Justin Fields defender, but I just, after this season, it's just, I think we all know what he is. I think he'd be a nice second or third, backup, or maybe like a third stringer you bring in for like some gadget plays. I just don't think he's a starting quarterback. And if you're they're 0-6 now. What's the point of bringing him back? What's the point of you're going to take your time, make sure Wilson
6 is rough, bro.
Yeah. What are you bringing him back for? I get players want to play, but I'm saving him for next year, for whoever my next quarterback's going to be. And I want him to get healthy, but they just extended him right to the contract. Why I don't want to get him murdered with an 0-6 team. I'd rather just take my time. Great.
What's his extension? Did the Jets extend him?
I thought he did. Wasn't it this year? I thought I remember reading that one. Let me look it up. Well, you give your thought on it. Something on this.
Well, says he signed a 2-year, $40 million contract with the Jets in March, but it's a 2-year, and I don't know. It says it includes a $30 million in guarantee and a base salaries of $5 for 2025 and $20 for 2026. I don't know, man. Those 2 years are always those aren't I love you deals, man. You know how I feel about those 2-year deals.
No, he signed a 4-year. Garrett Wilson. He signed a 4-year.
No, not Garrett Wilson. Not Garrett Wilson. Not Garrett. I'm talking about.
Justin Fields. You're talking about Justin Fields. I was talking about Wilson.
No, Garrett Wilson is not even in this conversation because of course you guys you're gonna pray. Right. You're gonna pray the gods that Garrett Wilson does not leave you. So you would sign Garrett Wilson to a 6-year. I mean, you're going to sign Garrett Wilson to whatever it takes. Please don't leave us.
Right.
If this was, unfortunately, this wouldn't be like, we wouldn't be talking about the Justin Fields situation, the impact. I mean, I actually, because this is a good segue, would like to take the other side of that. And I think that the biggest impact is Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
And maybe we're talking about for different reasons, though, Eugene. You're talking about for implications of like an actual team. So you're saying, hey, as an NFL team that's actually contending, we need all our guys out here.
Right.
So that we can contend better because we are actually playing for something.
Right.
And we're sitting at the big boy table. We're not playing games over here. Now at the kiddie table is where you would find the Jets. Right now, anyway.
Yeah.
Right now, that's what the offenses look like, right? The offenses look, I mean,
just bad.
Say it.
I mean, there's no other. Yeah.
it hasn't looked great. So, and it hasn't looked great to Justin Fields' credit. It hasn't looked great for a while, but Aaron made it at least look respectable, as he tends to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, 0-6. I get why you would say that Garrett Wilson is not important to the team, but when you look at the fact that Garrett Wilson, look at the amount of volume that Garrett Wilson is getting on that team, or when they're throwing, who they're going to throw to. But you take Garrett Wilson and the miracle catches this man has to make out there. You take that away. I mean, who else do you got? Who's their second receiver with the Jets?
Nobody. But I'm just saying, if I'm that team, if I'm him, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go play with Justin Fields. He's going to get me murdered.
If you're Wilson, of course. No. If we're gonna rewind that whole conversation we had where you thought I was talking about Justin Fields and you thought I was talking about Garrett Wilson.
I thought you were there. I was like, wait a minute. I thought
no, absolutely not, because we wouldn't even. No, we're talking about the maybe they get Fields out of there, maybe not. But I feel like the biggest issue is that Garrett Wilson is such a large percentage of that team. Now, I would feel the same way about Puka minus Devontae Adams. I would feel like the same way about Puka minus Kyron Williams. Now, I love Breece Hall there because I think that Breece Hall is a solid part of why the Jets even compete.
Oh, yeah.
It's because of Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and their defense is why this team competes. Time in and time out. That's how it's been over the years. Minus Rodgers been plugged in there. But I think that's one of the reasons that you could argue that Garrett Wilson would be a bigger loss. But I think volume wise, you can make the same argument here for Puka because Puka's high volume player. Matt Stafford goes to him a lot. And I think that through this first few weeks of the season, he's like leading so many of the NFL wide receiver categories.
Yeah, it's not even close. He's destroying everybody right now. Yeah. And
it's a good chance he's back out there. He does do this good because guys like that, those are guys they say could be up to a couple of weeks, and he's running back out there on Sunday.
Right,
he's right back there. So there's a good chance that he just extends that. And then too, with a lot of guys like that, especially at the age that Puka is at, they can run back out there and be 180 yards, man.
Right.
Could happen. But both absences would be felt. So hopefully there is no absences. And hopefully if there is for any of these great players, there will be short absences for them, for the fantasy gods out there. I'm not sure. What do you think they do at quarterback with the Jets at 0-6? That's questionable, right?
Yeah. I mean, the sad part is you don't really have, just from the short college football season, there really hasn't just been that one guy you've been like, oh, he looks good, right? He looks like a number one pick. It just hasn't been a guy. We've seen a lot of just okay quarterback play, but nothing been like, oh, that guy's going to be a number one pick, or that one's going to be. Now, again, We still got to finish out the year. But there's barely been no like. I mean, if you're the Jets, you get that number 1 pick. There's just really nobody that you're looking going. Yeah, we're excited about this guy. I mean, it might be just one of those things they plan on this year and they try and get something through free agency, but there's no way that that Fields is quarterback for that team next year. There's just I could not see that. That would just be
So now that we have the contractual situation fixed, it was Garrett Wilson with the 4-year, which of course you extend him. Of course you did. Yeah. I mean, you're just hoping he doesn't walk away. And then it was Fields with the 2-year is what the deal I was looking at. Because I was thinking that if you don't have an extended deal, if they don't have an extended deal on Fields, they're not necessarily they're dating right now. They're trying to figure it out.
Oh yeah,
trying to see if maybe you could be, maybe you couldn't be, and maybe they have somebody else there in the pipeline here, or somebody else they're looking to draft. But it is rough going right now for the Jets at 0-6. You know.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's really bad for those.
Just that, Reggie Johnson, Eugene Morton. Check us out, Stitch, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast, and also on Google as well. On Just the Stats, check out our channel. See you next time.